What is good, everybody? It's your boy D Nice with I2G Radio, back at it with another podcast. Before we even get started on this is the post-game Raiders Patriots pod. I do have a major announcement. We now have an official Raiders YouTube channel. So moving forward, it's going to be the I2G Radio Viva Las Raiders podcast. And you guys can all urge everyone to follow. This particular video will be uploaded to YouTube, and it's at Viva Las Raiders podcast. Spell it all out, all one word. We are going to start uploading these pods to the YouTube channel and start to build up the channel that way. So you will have the option of the YouTube channel. You will also still have us on Spotify at I2G Radio. We're still going to simulcast off of both Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube now. So just started this up after the game. Again, you can check this out on YouTube, but make sure to follow. It is Viva Las Raiders podcast, all one word. Let's get right into it. Raiders get the W in Foxborough. It was a rain-slicked game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. But, you know, Geno Smith opened his stint with the Raiders, and this is off ESPN.com, some of the information I'm getting here, throwing for 362 yards and a touchdown. Rookie Ashton Jeanty rushed for his first career touchdown, and the Raiders rallied to beat the New England Patriots 20-13 in their season opener. Brock Bowers had 5 catches for 103 yards before leaving the fourth quarter with a knee injury. Jacoby Myers added 8 catches for 97 yards. Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, Tyree Wilson, and Jonah Lalulu each had 1 sack, and it helps to give Pete Carroll his first victory as a Raiders coach. Raiders outscored the Patriots 13-3 in the second half. New England got within 7 points on a 44-yard field goal, but ensuing onside kick rolled out of bounds. New England was just 4 of 14 on third down in Coach Mike Vrabel's debut. So it was a great game. The first drive, Raiders were on fire, went down the field, didn't really run the ball that much. I mean, it was almost exclusively throwing. And you can already see the potential of this offense. Big playability, very aggressive on the few third downs that they were on. Geno Smith was pushing the ball down the field, had a lot of mismatches with Bowers against either corners or linebackers, but they were able to do that. But Jacoby Myers as well was giving a lot of mismatch issues and problems. And Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton Jr., what we're talking about all offseason, they were able to mix in and have big plays. Trey Tucker scored the first touchdown on that first drive, and you know, he had, I think, 3 receptions. I'll get into the box score here in a minute, but you know, just kind of recapping the game and what I've seen. They were really able to push the ball. Now, the 1 interception Geno did have, he kind of did push it almost into borderline double and triple coverage. Ball was tipped and then it was intercepted, but completely stayed the course. Also got sacked 4 times. That offensive line was shaky at times, but when he needed that pocket protection, he got it in that pocket. And again, was constantly pushing the ball down the field, used his mobility on a couple plays there in the fourth quarter. I was super impressed with Geno Smith in this game. The defense made adjustments. They kind of were Butte for the Patriots was he had a pretty close to 100 yards receiving in this game. Really was giving them problems, but they made the adjustments. Caillou Blue Kelly played a great game on the boundary. Eric Stokes was solid as well. But that front four for the Raiders, this is going to be that 3-headed monster I think that's developing now. Tyree Wilson, you can kick him in on the inside. He had a sack today from the inside. Malcolm Kuntz played well. Had a strip sack fumble, and you know, he's looking like he's getting back into form. A lot of people do not talk about this from that team. In 2023, Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz, the second half of the season, had over 150 pressures combined on the quarterback. And a lot of that was in the second half of the season. So if they're able to continue that with Laulu and Thomas Booker playing well, he had a couple pressures also on the inside, and Tyree Wilson, this is going to be a very dynamic and fluid and free-flowing defensive line that's going to be able to create a lot of havoc. Devin White was all over the place in this game. Jermaine Pratt, good coverage, but he was also all over the place. Jamal Adams had a great game. Landon Roberts said he had a sprained elbow, kind of went out early in the first half. Hopefully he'll be okay. They do get a couple extra days rest here, playing next week on Monday Night Football against the Chargers, but a lot of good adjustments by the defense second half. I seen Patrick Graham and Pete Carroll were constantly communicating and talking, and they made the adjustments in the second half, really made Drake May into more one-dimensional. They weren't able to get the run game going. The run defense by the Raiders was phenomenal in the second half, and they just really stymied the Patriots. Isaiah Polamau also had a interception, and that was directly off of the interior pressure that the Raiders had on Drake May. We get 5 game balls out on offense, 5 on defense. So on offense, Geno Smith, again, 362 yards, the most ever in franchise history by a debut starting quarterback for the Raiders. He was phenomenal. Again, 4 sacks, but he was not deterred. He kept pushing the ball down the field. They complemented the run game as best they could, but New England was putting 8 in the box, and really Geno was able to kind of pick apart the defense at his leisure. Jacoby Myers, 8 receptions in this game for 97 yards. Had a phenomenal game. Let me pull up the box score here for everybody. But Jacoby Myers really played well. I would like to see him, stack a few more games, and I think if he continues to play at this trajectory that he's playing at, I definitely can see the Raiders going back to the negotiating table and talking about an extension. I don't really think at this point, more or less from a morale standpoint, he's still under contract. If anything, each game that it keeps going, it's just going to get more and more expensive for the Raiders if they decide that they want to bring him along and still have him on the team going into next season. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think that's going to be a storyline for the majority of the season, but I don't think it's going to be a distraction. Ashton Jeanty only had 38 yards rushing, but he did have a very crucial touchdown there in the second half. Played well. Another game ball, Brock Bowers, 5 receptions, 103 yards. Went out, got dinged up a little bit on his knee, but I got to give him a game ball. He was able, again, to exploit that defense. Michael Mayer also had a great game as well in this. I think he had 4 or 5 receptions. Let me pull this up here just to be on the safe side. I don't want to have him missing any stats here. Definitely don't like dead air, people, so let me pull this up. Michael Mayer, 4 catches, 38 yards, but he had a lot of clutch catches. 4 receptions, 4 targets. Had a couple first downs. Really kept the drive going. Got to give him a game ball. I'm also going to give kind of a duo one here, Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton. Trey Tucker, 2 catches, 54 yards, long of 28, had 1 touchdown. Dante Thornton, 2 for 45, long of 36 in the fourth quarter. That was the game sealer on that. Geno was rolling out to his right, threw an absolute dot to Dante Thornton down the field. They concentrated so much on trying to stop the run game that, that opened up the deep passing for the Raiders down the field. And Geno's mobility as well really helped and assisted with them. Zamir White also had a decent game. Again, it was hard for this team to run. 56 total yards rushing. You also have Jack Besh, 1 catch, 23 yards. That was a big clutch catch. So I'm going to go Geno, Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, Michael Mayer, and Jacoby Myers will get game balls on the offensive side. On the defensive side, again, the big three: Tyree, Malcolm Kuntz, Max Crosby. Max Crosby's got to have that Batman to his Robin, but hey, it's nothing wrong also by having that third pass rusher or interior defensive player like the Three Musketeers. If these guys can continue to wreak havoc and create pressure the way that they're doing, this is going to be a dynamic defense, even more solid than that bend don't break. They are going to be able to break the quarterback, break the offensive line, and really cause problems. And they're going to need to do that in week 2 against the Chargers here in Allegiant for Monday Night Football. So those three I would give game balls to. Devin White was all over the place. I'm going to combine this one as well. Devin White, Jermaine Pratt, those guys were all over the place. Also, Jamal Adams as well. So I'm just going to give it to the entire linebacking core. Incredible play. I also liked how Thomas Booker was playing in today's game as well. He had 3 tackles. But Devin White, 11 tackles, 8 solo tackles, 1 tackle for loss. So I guess I'm just going to, as a defense as a whole, they're going to get a game ball because there was guys on all 3 levels that played well. Caillou Blue Kelly, second on the team, 9 total tackles, 7 solo. Great game. Eric Stokes, 5 total tackles, 3 solo. He had a great game as well. Was super impressed with them in the second half. They got a little handsy, had a couple penalties, but they really cleaned things up and really made it tough for the Patriots to really push the ball down the field. It really kind of kept them at the little 5 or 7 yard drops and really kept everything in front of them. And the Patriots were trying to push the ball down the field, get first downs, but again, that pressure combined with the play of the secondary was solid. Again, Isaiah Polamau, 7 tackles, 5 solo, had the interception. That was a big momentum shift there in the second half. All in all, I was extremely impressed with the defense in this, especially second half. They played absolutely lights out, and we'll have to continue to do that week by week for this team to be successful. Definitely in the offseason, I think they'll probably want to look into drafting a defensive tackle and a corner, also in free agency, possibly a big name if they can bring that in as well. But it's a young team, and they're coming together and they're playing well. So, and a big one too, give a game ball to Pete Carroll. Adjustments in the second half, working with his Patrick Graham. I think that's why he wants Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham was on the field for this game, but they were constantly talking to each other. Chip Kelly was up in the booth, working things. So now you've got a phenomenal offensive coordinator. You can let him come up with the plays. Pete's a defensive-minded coach, and he can collaborate with Patrick Graham. They can make those quick on-the-fly adjustments. Pete Carroll can tell Patrick Graham what he's seeing. Patrick Graham is going to be able then to decipher and know what Pete Carroll is expecting out of each level of the defense and make those adjustments. That's something that he really didn't do a whole lot of in years past, but they've always kind of had that cover 3, bend don't break defense. But when your defensive line is playing like this, it can get pressure. It completely opens up so many different ways that this defense can go. So great win for the Raiders. always good when it's a victory Sunday. Moving forward, I will be doing more of these post-game shows. Again, we now have the new YouTube channel, Strictly Raiders, Viva Las Raiders podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll start posting these on YouTube. They're still going to be posted on Illuminati2G.com, and we're still going to have our I2G Radio podcast, but we're just adding another avenue and channel to push. It's going to be strictly Raiders content that will be going on here. So if you listen to the podcast and you just want to go on YouTube, you can also check this out on YouTube as well. But D-Nice, I2G Radio, Viva Las Raiders podcast signing off. Raiders win 2013. They're back home in the Viva next week for Monday Night Football, Legion Stadium against the LA Chargers, who also want to know. It's going to be an interesting game, but go Raiders. Peace.